On this episode of Mike Drop Dallas, the big get is Nathaniel Lowe, first baseman for the World Series champion Texas Rangers. Then we're going to talk about the impact the Dallas Cowboys have in our community, including during the holiday season. All that and more. It's season 4, episode 6. So let's drop the mic and let's go. On this episode of Mike Drop Dallas, the big get is Nathaniel Lowe, first baseman for the World Series champion Texas Rangers. Then we're going to talk about the impact the Dallas Cowboys have in our community, including during the holiday season. All that and more. It's season 4, episode 6. So let's drop the mic and let's go. Welcome to Mike Drop Dallas, everyone, the official podcast of the Dallas Sports Commission. Kevin Sullivan here, joined as always by Monica Paul, the executive director of the Sports Commission, and our on-air producer, Next Level, Marcus Carr. Another great show this week. But Monica, before we get to our guests, we've got some mic drop moments going on. None bigger, of course, than the Rangers and the continued World Series championship buzz. You and Marcus will get into that with Nathaniel Lowe in a few minutes. I was out at the Arboretum on Sunday with my family, and I was struck by how many people were wearing Rangers gear at the Arboretum, for crying out loud, on a Sunday or a Saturday, I guess it was, in November. Pretty cool. Cowboys on a roll, of course, a key stretch of the schedule coming up. We'll get into that. SMU wins its first American Athletic Conference football title under Rhett Lashley, who gets a contract extension after going 10-2 this year, with a nice bowl game coming up. Hopefully, Rhett is a friend of the mic drop, so happy for him and our friends at SMU. Monica, how you feeling about your Longhorns playing for the Big 12 championship against Oklahoma State at AT&T Stadium on Saturday?
We better be rolling on Saturday. I need a big win. I'm not gonna lie. My fingers were crossed, really, that we'd be playing Oklahoma just to avenge that loss earlier at the Red River rivalry down at the Cotton Bowl. But we need a big win, and I think we need a little help from some of the other teams out there to get in that college football playoff. But I don't know. Really excited about how the team has developed over these last few weeks. So looking forward to a great game there.
What else is happening at the Sports Commission? I'm sure you've got some FIFA action. World Cup 2026, of course, right around the corner, coming here to the #1 city in America to do sports business, according to the Sports Business Journal. What's the latest there?
No major announcements yet coming from FIFA. We don't have a timeline of when that match schedule is still coming out. So at this point, my fingers are kind of crossed. It may come in January of 2024. That way we can all enjoy our holidays, and the mass chaos doesn't erupt around the holidays when that match schedule comes out. Next week we'll be in Mexico City for our last workshop of the year. All the host cities coming in there to really tackle subjects around Fan Fest, tickets, hospitality, host city supporter programs, volunteer programs. So coming out of Mexico City, we should have a clearer understanding of what we can share with all of those who are interested in lending a hand and volunteering and being part of the workforce for the World Cup here in 2026. So that'll be exciting. I really do feel like things will pick up in January a little bit, because it becomes a little bit more real of, okay, one more year closer to 2026, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Dallas, the BMW Dallas Marathon right around the corner, December 9 and 10. I know you're involved with the marathon.
Yeah, we've got Dallas Marathon coming up this weekend. We've got the Sports Source soccer event, Irish dances going on. So should be a busy weekend from a sports perspective. Obviously, getting into the bowl season here after this next weekend, we'll know some matchups. So be able to talk on future episodes about who will be hosting in the First Responder Bowl, obviously the Cotton Bowl, and the other two in Frisco and Fort Worth as well. So always a busy time of the year and the season for us once we get into bowl season.
Monica, here's a little fun fact for you. I have two kids who were award-winning Irish dancers once upon a time back in the day. Did Marcus, Monica, either of you know what an Irish dance competition is called?
I have no guesses.
I should know this, Sully. So, but I fear I don't.
It's a fesh.
Oh.
So fire up, because I didn't know this was happening. So we, if you need a technical advisor, we've got a couple in the Sullivan family. So I can get Jenny on alert and get her out there if you need a greeter or a helper. So
okay, well, let us reach out to him today, and we'll see what additional reinforcements we may need there.
All right, from Irish dancing to the Texas Rangers. Back in a moment to talk Rangers with first baseman Nathaniel Lowe. First, over to Rachel.
Get ready, sports fans. This fall is stacked with events right here in the Big D. From food sport to football, the #1 sports business city has something for everyone. Head to dallassports.org to sign up for access to exclusive ticket announcements, discounts, and pre-sales to be part of the next big win.
We are now pleased to be joined by World Series champion and our Texas Rangers Gold Glove first baseman, Nathaniel Lowe. Nathaniel, welcome to Mic Drop Dallas.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
So, Nathaniel, you were among a handful of current Ranger players who were on the 2021 team that lost 102 games, I think. That season, could you have imagined you'd be World Series champions 2 years later?
Honestly, I had no idea. You know, we knew we had something special, but like the team just wasn't ready to compete yet. And it felt like there were a couple things after, you know, having such a great ballpark and such a great place to play that we really needed to address. So in 21, not so much, but then like to be a part of an organization that's going to address those needs and like really put them on the field now is so special, because now we got a chance to really recruit top tier free agent players, and we got guys who are, you know, at the top of all these award lists who are doing great things for themselves and for the team. And it's really cool to be a part of a rebuild like that.
So has it really sunk in yet that you are World Series champion? And what does that mean to you personally?
So special, you know. Yeah, every time you play the game to win the game. When you win the game, you win a championship. So like to truly like take it to the top level and know that there's like no higher we can go is so cool. And you know, because you don't really totally realize that it's real until it's done, and sometimes it doesn't even feel real. But yeah, to be a World Series champ, like it's just such a special feeling.
I mean, I have to imagine it's like a dream you had your whole entire life. So definitely enjoy that and let that sink in. That's fantastic. I know we were talking on the Mic Drop a few episodes earlier in the season, and it was still, you know, regular season that y'all were in, and you were a little bit of a slump there, and we're like, oh no, I don't know if these Rangers can hold on and pull it out, but you did, and so very excited about that. So many Rangers players have praised manager Bruce Bochy. Can you take us behind the scenes a bit to help us better understand why he is the perfect manager for this team?
Boch is just he's so even keeled. You know, the highs aren't too high, the lows aren't too low. He's optimistic. He expects guys to do well. You know, he's not putting you out there in a position where he wants you to fail. He wants you to get the best out of yourself, you know. And when we individually hold ourselves to high standards, it comes together as a team. And I felt like, you know, even in the losing streaks or the slow periods that people took notice of, like it felt like it's just a matter of time before we snap out of it and get back to playing first place baseball. And you know, for him not to come down on anybody, he never really had to yell at anyone or do anything kind of off the record. Like he was just even keeled every day. And when he brings that same kind of energy every day, it's just really easy to play for.
Nathaniel, we had John Blake on earlier this season. You know, he was the one saying, you know, the Rangers are going to make the push. I don't really get into the games as much as I do unless it's playoffs. You know, so I can imagine the emotions he was going through. But what was going through your head, you know, once that final out was, you know, solidified?
I mean, it didn't feel real. It's just, there was no next round to get to. There was no other team to beat. It was just, that's it. We won. And to finish a season where you win the last game, like there's only one team in every league that gets to win the last game, and to be one of 30 to finish that thing off and realize like that we got it done was just so special. You don't really think about it until it's time to finish it. But yeah, that game 5, like, what a feeling.
Yeah. You've been here for 3 years. I've been a Rangers fan for 25 years since I've been alive. Rangers fans waited 51 years for this. What was it like at the parade? And what did you like feel from the fans, not, that were there, and then also, the week after?
Oh, so special. I don't know. It's still such a treat to get on the back of the truck and ride around in a circle and say hi to everybody. Like that was such a good time. It was so fun, because you have no idea how many times you get to celebrate that. So at that one time you're a world champ, and to see all those people turn out and pack it in there and then fight through the traffic and get part of it, like to be part of a first time event like that was so special. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like it was such a good feeling to see everybody out there.
Yeah, I absolutely, I can definitely tell it was a good time for the whole team.
Yeah.
In in the Rangers organization history, they'd never won 10 games on the road in a row. How can you explain doing that in the playoffs? This is the first time an MLB team has done that. Can you give us a little bit insight into that? What was the team camaraderie? What was clicking on the road? Can take us a little bit.
Yeah, we just did it together, man. Like when we go to those road clubhouses and the guys are in there together, we get guys taking the early bus to come in and hang out and just be around each other. And we'll throw some cards around, play a couple games here and there, do our batting practice and our routine, get together for a meeting, and like do a couple things just together before we go out there and play. And it just felt like on the road it just really meshed. And it wasn't one guy the entire postseason stretch. We had a lot of guys step up in a lot of different situations and win a whole bunch of games. So I can't explain being perfect on the road. It felt like we had a good thing going at home too, but the record didn't turn out for us. But yeah, we just got it done.
Have you got a chance to, take the trophy, do anything with it? If not, what do you plan to do with it?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I held it up a couple times. I got my picture taken with it, but yeah, that's a team trophy. So I don't want to have reins on that.
I have to slide this in there. How many times do you think you've listened to Creed in this span?
I don't know. Not as many as everyone assumes. It was just, we had a funny thing going there, and yeah, it worked out pretty nice for us.
Well, you earned the honors of, winning Gold Glove at first base this season. Was that something you wanted to focus in, defensively going into spring training? Was there any kind of method behind that, or is it just something that, you kind of played yourself into a groove?
Yeah, absolutely. I knew I needed to get better. I knew for me to be the best contributor to this team, I needed to be an all-around player, not just a hitter. So to be able to win an individual award where like defense is kind of a team thing, it's not so much a individual thing. Like to be a part of something like that and get individual recognition for it was super cool. But yeah, we worked hard for that. All winter long, like for as long as I've played first base, like I've had to really improve. And then I had a couple coaches that really went out there with me in spring training, and every single day, like being around the team just made me a better player. So we just got a good thing going there. So to win an individual award like that was pretty special.
So Nathaniel, how difficult was playing this year while worrying about your mom, Wendy, who is battling cancer? And what was that like to share that championship with her?
It was just something new, to have something on my plate off the field, like while the biggest moments on the field were going on, was just something new to get after. So it was a challenge for sure. There were definitely periods where I feel like I pressed too hard and tried to do too much to make her happy. And then there were definitely times where I was just happy to be there because she could watch us on TV. But when I saw her, when I saw her before we really got deep into the postseason, she mentioned winning the whole thing and how special of a moment to make it all come to fruition. Because if I can't be at home, if I can't go see her and hang out with her while she's going through this, then I guess winning the World Series is a pretty good second place. So it was really special how it all turned out.
So now that the season's over, obviously, World Series champion here, Gold Glove award winner. What's vacation like? What's that's got you got to have a vacation before you. It's not too
I got a
before
pretty
spring
bad.
training.
I got a pretty bad golf game going on. But I love to play. I got no idea where the golf ball's going right now, but I love to play. We're going to the beach next week for Thanksgiving. So my mom wanted to drive over to the beach and hang out there for the week. And yeah, it'll be a good time. But yeah, we got to get back in the gym sooner rather than later because this winter's shorter. With that month cut off, it's time to get back to work again. But yeah, it'll be a good winter. I'm excited to get back and really have a better year next year.
We'll have to get you on the links here at PGA Frisco. Just up the road from the stadium.
Yes,
Well,
I'd love to.
Well, Nathaniel, we appreciate you joining us today. All the well wishes to your mom, and just again, super congratulations. The Metroplex could not be more happy for you guys, and we're really excited. So it's a great time to be a Ranger, great time to be here in the Metroplex, and you have our full support.
Thank you so much.
Now over to Rachel for a word from one of our sponsors.
Get ready, sports fans. This fall is stacked with events right here in the Big D. From food sport to football, the #1 sports business city has something for everyone. Head to dallassports.org to sign up for access to exclusive ticket announcements, discounts, and pre-sales to be part of the next big win.
2, 1. Now we are happy to be joined here on Mic Drop Dallas by Allie Christmann, the Community Relations and Alumni Affairs Coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. She's also a proud TCU alum. Allie, sorry about this year. I know the Horned Frogs will bounce back. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I know definitely a rebuilding year. We've got some good things this season, but excited for next season and what's to come. So I know Coach Dykes has a great team over there.
Yeah, they'll be back for sure. Before we get into what the Cowboys will be doing in the community through the holiday season, let's talk a little bit about the Thanksgiving game. Obviously, a big win over the Washington Commanders, but also the 27th Salvation Army Red Kettle kickoff, which had a kind of an epic feeling this year. How can you kind of recap this year for us? But the impact that day has in terms of kicking off the Salvation Army's holiday season of giving.
Yeah, I think, the great thing about the Salvation Army is it is worldwide and it impacts people in a variety of ways. And so, really getting to see that come to life and kick off every year, bigger and better. I feel like every year they build and it's better than the last year before. And they serve that many more people, in that holiday season. And that kickoff game is wonderful because it really puts eyes on all the good that the Salvation Army is doing. It really, shines a light out literally on stage at our halftime show for millions of people and across the country, worldwide. We have fans that tune into our games all over the world. And so really getting to see just how much good the Salvation Army can do. And, having an artist like Dolly Parton supporting that on stage, not only reaches her fan base, but it reaches ours. And it really, hones people in on what's important to us as we head into the holiday season. While yes, it's football, it's also, serving others and giving back to the community. And so I think that's a great representation of the two of those things.
It seemed like half the team ended up in the Salvation Army kettle in the end zone before the game was over. We even had a Dak to CeeDee Lamb alley-oop reenactment. Deron Bland ended up in there after a pick six. All of us who work in sports know when you can get the participation of the players, things go to a next level. How have you and the Cowboys created this atmosphere where the players are so bought into what happens around the Salvation Army Red Kettle kickoff on Thanksgiving Day every year?
Yeah, I think it comes down to service. We have a team of coaches and players that are dedicated to giving back, whether that looks like in their own communities and our community that they're now a part of. We have My Cause, My Cleats coming up this week, and we got to see that across some of our players on their own foundations and causes. But I think because it's so important to our team, it's important to them. Super exciting to see them jump in there. I think it's a buy-in from all of the players and the coaches, and from Angel Tree and adopting angels to, jumping in the kettle on game day, to serving in our mentorship program at the Salvation Army. I think there's a wide variety where they can get involved throughout the entire season. So when it comes to that game and they see the kettles out there, it's just another way that they can really, buy into that cause too.
You mentioned the Salvation Army's global impact, with giving to those in need, in many, many ways. But what can you quantify what the Cowboys' involvement, what kind of jet fuel that provides to the Salvation Army? I mean, any nonprofit would do anything to have a partner with the reach and the brand power of the Cowboys. I mean, any feel for just how big of an impact the Cowboys add to the Salvation Army?
I think it's amazing because you have these two iconic brands, one that has been serving millions and millions of people for years, and another that has been, entertaining people and serving people in another way for, years. And so when you have these two iconic brands, that's a lot of eyes and a lot of support and a lot of, just reach. And I think it's a really natural fit. I know something that we love about the Salvation Army is that when you donate to the Red Kettle in your community, it goes back to your community. And so that's important to, the organization. And when you're working with a nonprofit, to see where that funding goes, where those dollars go, and the impact that it has on a variety of people. They have so many programs there. And so we really get to do a lot of work in a lot of different areas throughout the year, in partnership with them, and great staff, nationally, locally. Just the Salvation Army is just one of those organizations that, no matter what they're doing, they're reaching somebody and changing somebody's life. And I think that's a lot similar to what sports does, and it gives people hope. It gives people, a place, a purpose. And so similar to how Salvation Army brings people together, so does sports. And so naturally, those two just fit.
Okay, Allie, we have to talk a little Dolly Parton. I mean, absolutely incredible. I had my whole entire family watching. They heard me talking about Dolly Parton is going to be on halftime of Cowboys game all day long on Thursday. So if you were hoping she would inspire people to give, I definitely think you 100% succeeded there. What did you think of her overall performance, and just what she was able to do for not only Salvation Army, but in the partnership with the Cowboys in general?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was just excited, probably as y'all were, when I heard that she was going to be our halftime performance. I know seeing her in the spring at ACMs here at the Star was so much fun. And then just carrying that energy and excitement into our season this year is just wonderful to see. But I think, I'm a people person. So, working in this industry, as y'all probably have experienced yourself, you really get to know people as people. That glitz and glam of the sport that they play or the talents that they have, is just a small part of who they are. And so same goes for Dolly. And so getting to hear her philanthropy efforts, how much she loves service and giving back to others, and how much she admires the work of the Salvation Army as well, was just, it was heartwarming to see. It was exciting to see, especially as we head into the holiday season. And it just gave me more respect for her. I already had respect for her, but seeing her on that stage advocating for so much good, it's amazing. And I still get goosebumps talking about it, because she really is quite the philanthropist, just a natural fit.
Well, I vote for Dolly Parton every year for the halftime performance, or at least every other year. Let's get her on a cycle or something. That was fantastic. Allie, what else do you have in store for your work within the community with the Cowboys players and alumni, maybe this holiday season?
Yeah, so we are full swing in the holiday season. As I mentioned earlier, we have My Cause, My Cleats coming up this week on Thursday. We have 40 players, 18 coaches that'll be representing a variety of causes on their shoes. It's one of my favorite projects every year. It really gives our players, our coaches, the opportunity to really, wear their passions on their shoes and get to tell their stories and inspire people that are maybe going through something similar or had a family member that have gone through something similar. It really humanizes them and makes them, in reach for a lot of people that may see them as someone that they could never relate to. And so it really is one of my favorite platforms each season, and it grows and it grows, and you get to learn a lot about the different players and the coaches and their experiences and what shaped them into the player or coach they are today. And so that's coming up this week. And then we go into holiday season. So we'll have hospital visits, and we are in angel tree adoption season. So we'll keep encouraging players, coaches, employees to adopt angels and, give lots of kids Christmas that may not otherwise have that opportunity. And then, yeah, that kind of, full swing. So all the good this season.
So Allie, Sully and I talk a lot about players who, have a great career here, end up retiring or their post, playing career, living here, their philanthropic efforts, and really always looking to give back and stay engaged within our community across all of our professional teams and leagues here within the DFW area. Which of your Cowboys alumni are, I guess, most active here within the DFW area?
I have to say all of them are. I have a great relationship, and so does my boss, with a lot of our former Cowboys. A lot of them love to be around the team, come back. Those that are in DFW still have a heart to serve, and I think now that they're retired, have more time to serve. And so you really see them, take advantage of that and come out and volunteer, whether they're at games or they're, out in the community. I think weekly we have somebody doing something. So it really is, incredible to see them continuing to use their platform as professional athletes long after their career ends. I think that heart to serve and service doesn't leave you when you retire from the league. It only grows greater because you realize, the platform that you had while you're playing continues on. And so we have so many alumni in the area. We call them legends. That are still engaged with us and continue to grow and grow by word of mouth. And just as we can continue to include them in any of our community projects, we see a lot of engagement. So really, really happy to be in the position to be able to form those relationships with them and keep them Cowboys, throughout their entire lives, not just through their playing career.
Well, and Dak Prescott, of course, being the most high-profile Cowboy on the field, won the ultimate, really, NFL individual award last year with the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for his work in the community. Talk a little bit about how that recognition that Dak got and what's important to him in the community.
Yeah, I think, the Man of the Year award is known as the NFL's most prestigious award. And I think, some sports fans may laugh at that and say maybe it's the MVP award or, the quarterback of his Super Bowl winning team that year, But for Dak, I think seeing him win that award, he was so deserving of it. I know we see in this building, but millions of people see it across the country, the good that he does with his experiences and his foundation, the Faith Fight Finish Foundation. I think, I've said it over and over again, a heart to serve and just, impacting others with the platform that he has and, just leaving the world a better place than, any of us have found it. I think that's always the goal. And Dak is a great example of that. He's a leader on the field and off the field and really just inspires people every day with hope and perseverance and resilience and just embodies all that it is to really be the Man of the Year. And so he does a lot of good in our community with his foundation, with our team, and then just all over.
Before we let you go, I want to get your advice to young people who want to get in sports. You've accomplished a lot early in your career, but you've also gone back to school and done some things to help advance your career. So what do you tell young people when they say, how did you get a great job like that at the Cowboys? And how could I do something like that?
Yeah, it's two-part, I guess, would be my answer. My grandfather coached baseball at Texas Tech for over 22 years. And seeing him impact people in a positive way really drew me to sports, and just seeing all the good that he did for others while he was in the profession really keeps me going. So I think the biggest thing is to not get wrapped up in the industry itself, but the impact that you can have in the industry. That's really what keeps me growing, keeps me motivated, keeps me, optimistic about what's to come, is really the platform that the sports industry gives you. And so focusing on that and seeing the ways in which you can impact others through it is so important to me. And then never stop learning. I think the biggest thing for me is there's always something to learn, always something to build upon, always something to improve. I think when you reach a point where you feel like you can't learn anymore or that you can't grow anymore, you've really hit a roadblock, because there's always something that you can do to make the next person better, to make you better, or to build others up and kind of take them along with you. So I think those two things have really, especially the last couple of years, driven me in my career, and is advice that I would give to somebody trying to step in or improve or grow in their own careers.
Well, that is good advice, and we really appreciate you joining us here on the Mic Drop, Allie. Good luck
Yeah,
with the rest of
absolutely.
all the community initiatives the Cowboys have rolling out here the rest of the holiday season. So, on behalf of Monica and the Dallas Sports Commission, thanks to Allie and also Nathaniel Lowe for the world champion Texas Rangers. We're going to keep saying that for joining us on this episode of Mic Drop Dallas. Thanks to our Mic Drop team, Next Level Marcus Carr and Merrick's Doc Gooden from Tony Fay PR, Alex Gilbert from the Sports Commission, our showrunner, Tony Fay. Until next time, thanks for listening, everybody.